What's up, guys? I know this isn't my normal video, and I haven't posted in a little while, but man, after hearing the news about Greg Biffle today, I just kind of wanted to come on and say a couple things about the Biff. Um, he was obviously a pretty big part of my childhood, and I'm sure a lot of your guys' childhoods too. Um, I was born in 2004 and was watching NASCAR growing up my entire life, and the Biff was around for a lot of that. And he wasn't really a guy that I pulled for. I mean, I always like to see Greg Biffle do well, but he was by no means my favorite driver. But he was one of those guys that I kind of classify like with Paul Menard, just the guys that they weren't gonna win every week, but they were kind of the average Joes, and whenever they were having a good run, you were really just pulling for them, and man, it kills me to know that this happened. It was just such a shock, as I'm sure it was to everybody else. Um, how quickly life can come to an end like that, and just it's awful, especially with his wife and his children on board. It's just all around a terrible tragedy. And looking back on Greg Biffle, his life, his legacy, this is a lot more than just losing a former NASCAR driver. This is losing a an American hero who delivered a lot of humanitarian aid to those in need in 2024 with Hurricane Helene. He did a lot for the area of North Carolina, all around, just taking his personal private helicopter, rescuing some of these people that were stranded, delivering food, diapers, medicine, aid, Starlink satellites, anything that he could do to help these people out. And it's not just one instance, and it's not like anybody asked him to do that. He woke up and saw the devastation that the hurricane had brought to North Carolina, and on his own decided, we're going to go out, we're going to help as many people as we can. And what turned into, a 1 day thing turned into 2 days, turned into, 3, 4, 8 days, maybe even longer than that. I think the whole sport is kind of reeling and trying to make sense of it all. And it's, I just cannot believe the amount of aviation crashes that the NASCAR industry in particular has, and how many tragic deaths they've led to. Um, but man, I saw the news earlier at work, and I could not believe it. It's truly terrible, and I really hope that NASCAR. I'm sure they will, but I really hope that NASCAR finds a way to honor not only Greg Biffle, but the Biffle family in general this season and in upcoming seasons. I've seen the idea of like a Greg Biffle Humanitarian of the Year award. I would love to see that. Basically, any driver that throughout the year, throughout the season, uses his money to help where help is needed, in communities, or, if there is, unfortunately, some devastation, tornadoes, hurricanes, etc., anything that happens like that, just doing something to give back to the community, and naming the award after Greg Biffle, I think would be a very, very fitting way to honor his legacy. Um, I would love to see, and I'm sure we're going to see, some Greg Biffle throwbacks at Darlington this year. It's just, it's just a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. And I truly cannot believe it. And I have to feel bad for Cletus McFarland too. Um, the Biffles were on their way to Sarasota to meet up with Cletus, and I just feel bad for Cletus too, because he's got to be kind of weighing it on his mind. If they weren't coming to visit me, would things be different? So I'm thinking about Cletus in this time too. But man, my thoughts and prayers go out to the Biffle family, friends, relatives, everyone involved. It's a dark day in our sport, and I just I can't I can't believe it. Um, Everybody, be sure to not forget and to spread the word about just how much Greg Biffle did. Um, People think of Greg Biffle as just a NASCAR driver, but truly, Greg Biffle is a lot more than that, and probably deserving, definitely deserving of a Presidential Medal of Freedom. I mean, for how much the guy did. He was a NASCAR driver. He had a lot more money than any of us, but he was, in my opinion, when it all comes down to it, just a regular guy like me and you. And the fact that just a regular guy was able to do so much for so many people, and have just such a tragic ending like this, it's just not right, man. And especially right around the holidays, we're about less than a week out from what would have been Greg Biffle's birthday. It's sad. But my thoughts and prayers go out to the Biffle family. What are your guys' favorite Greg Biffle moments? I think it's good to think about just how much Greg Biffle did in the sport and for North Carolinians. Is that how you say it? I'm not really sure, but all around great guy, great upstanding guy, and try to find some sort of way to honor him.